All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Overshot, a paintball podcast. Just wanted to give special thanks to our sponsors. First one, DeSarno Sports, makers of the Grind Air gloves, the SF joggers. We actually just did a partnership with them for our Overshot pants, as well as with Mike's brand, Kill for Less. So definitely check those out. It's got Overshot on the first half and then Kill for Less on the bottom. The other things that they make are custom jerseys. So we have our custom jerseys through them. I know they're down at Cup. So if you need some help and you're a DeSarno team, reach on out to them. They will be there. They'll be there to pod. They'll be there to help. They'll have their joggers with them as well. So go to DeSarno Sports and use code Overshot for 10% off. And then our next sponsor is Volcano USA. They're also down at World Cup. If you're down there, tell them that we sent you. Use code Overshot for 10% off. The discount does apply at World Cup. I was talking to Carlos. They actually have some World Cup deals going on. They got the new multicam bag as well as the black and red. So check them out. Or if you're not there, use code Overshot10 for 10% off. We're actually also just started up our Patreon, so definitely go over to our Patreon. We have a couple tiers there, so if you're waiting to kind of get on the podcast and you want to skip to the front of the line, definitely all our Patreon supporters get some free giveaways, get some swag, as well as can be interviewed on the show. So without further ado, we got a couple members, longtime members, some newer members of Master Blasters paintball team, just going over their recent win at PNL. I got the whole gang behind me. They rolled deep with about 25 guys. They got first and third in the tournament. There was 18 teams, but before I go on too much about the tournament, I just wanted to give everybody at least a quick introduction to each member of their team. All have great stories, great history in the game, but I just want them to give their introduction to first Master Blasters, and then we'll give everybody their own recap of the event. So first off, we've had Nick on before, but Nick, just reintroduce yourself and how you ended up getting on Master Blasters and ended up chosen to be on the winning line and everything like that.
I think I kind of just fell into the whole realm of the team, to be quite honest, just like in the mix with some of the guys like Mike, Travis, Mark Macaluso, Chris Dental. Just started playing at Cousins. And, just kind of like worked out playing with them. And then Kevin Donaldson eventually got into the picture. After that, we kind of just continued to play, and Kevin was around, and then lo and behold, here we are playing together in the woods, hyperball, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I've been playing with the team now for 2 to 3 years.
All right, perfect. And new to the scene, ended up playing on the second team. Has been around paintball for a long time. You know, played with Dark Riders, played with Illuminati, played with NWO. Most recently, a great team out of the Long Island area. You know, Division II and everything like that. But kind of new to the woods ball scene. So we have Justin Wood, first time on the show. Should Justin just give us, a quick. Since you haven't been on the show, you can give us a quick introduction to your history, and then how you ended up getting able to play on the Master Blasters, and then even, kind of give us your perspective as someone new to the 10-man mechanical scene.
Yeah, definitely. First off, thanks for having me. Always wanted to do one of these, since you started the podcast. But as far as the Master Blasters go, I grew up Long Island, paintball scene, Cousins paintball, high velocity, small, community of paintball players who more or less know each other. So I guess I was playing on NWO. That's probably when I met these guys really, and got to see who they were each individually. And then when, I took kind of a hiatus from NWO, Mike had always wanted me to play woods ball. I mean, he would tell me every single weekend I'd be practicing for X ball. He'd say, you got to come out and play this 10-man mechanical stuff. It's no joke. I mean, there's all these old pros that you grew up playing with and looking up to, and that's who you're playing against. So I was like, okay, we'll see. So, last weekend I go up there. I'm going to play my first mechanical. And let me tell you, it was a blast. I have had so much fun playing it. I think it's definitely different from X Ball. I don't know if it's better or worse than X Ball. It's a different breed altogether, but I had a blast. And I mean, Kevin Donaldson and the Master Blaster guys, they just made me feel like I've always played for them. I mean, it's a big family, like like you said, and I just had real fun time playing with those guys.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man. So, Mike, seems like you're the linchpin of this whole organization, getting these guys. Nick had good things to say about you. Wood had good things to say about you. So, give us your brief introduction to the team, and then your thoughts of even picking up Wood or picking up Nick or any of these guys, and because it seems like you're the guy that wants to play these mechanical events, right?
Yeah, so as far as the Master Blasters, 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, I met you. And then you told me show up to a practice up at Paintball Sports New York. I bet you they'll ask you to play paintball in California. I said, all right, why not? And I don't know, I haven't stopped playing mechanical since. So from that day, I had to get used to playing ball and get used to everything that I'm doing now. But I don't know. I always liked it. I just, for some reason, like Justin is a prime example of it. I told everybody, I'm like, come play, come play, come play. It's more fun than it seems. Everyone, I think, has this weird perception that it's not competitive or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think as you come and you experience it, you learn that it is competitive, and then you end up matching up against the guys you're trying to play anyway. So I don't know. I think, I wouldn't say I'm the reason people come around, but I definitely try to push it on some people more than others. And yeah, I guess over the last few years, it's got us to where we are now, and we're in a pretty good spot, and I hope it just keeps going. I mean, as far I don't want anything else, though.
All right, cool. So, all right, Baskin. So, give us a little introduction to yourself. This is your first time on the program, so tell us a little about how you came to be on the Master Blasters and maybe what led up to this weekend.
Okay, so yeah, I grew up on Long Island, paintball, just like Justin here. Master Blasters has been along for a while, so I've played these guys all the time, playing on Long Island, CTS, and stuff like that, and I don't know, later on down the road, I think we just bumped into one another, and then they wanted me to come play for them, and I was actually playing for another team at the time. And, I'm kind of loyal, so I'm never going to leave a team until the end of the year. And then I actually got with Nick, Mike, Gabe Delgado. Who else did we have at that time? Mark Michaeluso, Pat Beeben, Brian Casper, so we had a couple guys there that we put something together, and we went and played Foxball Series, NEPL. I mean, it was every weekend. I mean, we were going to somewhere different, we never stopped.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of parted ways with these guys. I went and played semi-pro for Supreme, Revo 2 before that. And then, I don't know, I kind of, once you get to that level of paintball, it gets really serious. And the guys that I was with didn't stay together at the time. So, it happens. But also kind of got the call from Kevin, like, come play this 10-man. I really don't think he was like a big fan of mine at first, because I'm kind of quiet guy. I really don't. I'm not outspoken or anything like that. So I think he was a little skeptical at first. But when he first met me and we were out there in the first practice, he's like, "Oh, this kid's a killer," So ever since then, we hit it off. I had a good time with these guys, and we really put stuff together within these past 2 years. Last year is when we really got the pro squad together for the whole 10-man thing. And you know how it is with teams first year. You know, we go through our battles and stuff like that. But, you know, this year going forward, I'm just really happy with these guys, especially coming up to this event, coming off the ICPL with the 4th place, and now getting this first at the PNL. You know, it was just a great time with these guys, you know. And I feel at home, you know, like Justin said, this is a big family, so this is something people want to be a part of for sure.
Awesome. And rolling straight off, you know, Baskin's good words about, you know, and he played on the line that got first place. So him saying it's been a 2-year project. These guys have been working hard at it. But just giving the new kid on the block, we got Jacob here. So some guys that have been around from the longest to the newest buck on the street. So Jacob, just kind of introduce yourself, give a little history on your start of paintball, and then how you got lucky enough to get picked up for this weekend.
Well, I've been playing for about like 3 years. My first tournament was your tournament, the WTS tournament. We placed 11th out of 14th with the New York Narwhals. Then my next one was another one of your tournaments. Was another 5-man. We got a little bit better at that. 8th place. Then, yeah.
So, dude, I mean, I know you're the young buck. I know you're shy and quiet and whatnot, man. But I mean, what ended up kind of getting you to play, you know, the event this weekend?
Well, I love mech, and I'd rather play mech than any EPL event, any ops event.
What Waldo wants you to say is Waldo asked you to play. That's what he wants you to say.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear, dude. What
Yeah,
happened, dude? Did you get the call, bro? Be like, yo, I got the call and I showed up, dude. I mean, you know, I mean, what if you want to be on this podcast another time, dude? You got to speak up, man. Even Baskin speaking, so get with it, dude. So, all right, man. So next question for you, Jacob, because I'm going to even put you on the spot again. Did you have a good enough time this weekend to wanting to join the Master Blasters? Like, is that your goal in life, or, I mean, or you want to work at Cousins for the rest of your life, or do you want to play paintball?
I love the Master Blasters. Really nice guys. Love them. Want to play with them again. Hopefully, I could get on to the A team instead of sticking to the B team.
That B team's solid though.
Oh,
I didn't hear what you guys said. I'm having connection problems now. I just come in and hear that.
No, you're back in. You're good, man. Yeah, B team's solid though, man. For the first tournament, dude. I mean, give us 3 practices, dude. We'll be all right.
Yeah, the B team never practiced, and we still took 3rd, even though we were barely making it in by like 1 point.
We were fighting the whole weekend, and I mean that's the craziest part of 10-man for me. Is there's probably like 3 or 4 times where I was like, "That's it, we're out." You know, we lost, and then we, like he said, you know, we squeaked by a couple points. Gives us a new breath of air, and we're back in the game all of a sudden. And like, you know, for me, when you get those free gimmies like that, like you're just like, wow, thank God that happened. It's just like it makes you focus that much more for the next point because you don't take it for granted, and you know you don't want to waste it. And I think everybody somewhat feels that, even if they don't say it. I think everybody was definitely doing that because you know that next game after barely squeaking in, we would play that much better and kind of learn a new thing about the field pretty much each point we went out. And it was just, that's how it was for me, at least. I mean, I think a lot of the other guys felt that way too. I know, you know, Craig, some of the other guys it was their first time playing a 10-man event or a paintball tournament at all. So I was very impressed with that B line. Not to cut anybody off, I just had to say that.
No, perfect, Justin. And for those that weren't there, that don't know, so the B line was made up of yourself. You know, yourself. You never played a 10-man. Craig's played very little woods ball. Jacob's, you know, 16 years old, so he's barely played any paintball, even though he's been playing for 3 years. He's, you know, open play and stuff like that. Had a couple OG dudes, And we even had a guest appearance. We had, Jacko from Planet Eclipse. His son's never played a tournament, barely played anything. So to put together a team like that, you had the Delayer brothers. You had, Johnny Redwinkle and stuff like that. Guys that have done this before. But like you said, man, I mean, you guys showed up when it mattered, man. I mean, Sunday balls usually when teams crumble, and you guys were starting to get better. And specifically the two guys that we have on here, you, Justin, and you, Jacob, I felt like as the tournament progressed, you guys got better. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, probably my first match, we came out, we won pretty convincingly, I think in like 6 minutes, which is fairly fast. I think the rest of our games were pretty much coming right down to the wire, that 10-minute mark. But we blew out the first team pretty fast, and I was almost sort of like, okay, yeah, I shot at a few guys. I might have shot one guy that game. But, then you come into game 2, and, you're like, okay, well, I don't know what really happened there, but it went to like 8 minutes or something, and we lose, and then the next game after that, it was like we're getting beat up again. So I mean, it's crazy how 10-man plays out. It really is.
Even Justin, you guys weren't there the first time, but Nick, Travis, and Mike, you guys played the first one as well as I did. What did you guys think of the changes to the hyperball field? Like, because they definitely made that center thing a little smaller. It was definitely a little longer this time. So what did you guys think of the changes they made on the hyperball field?
I think we should let Nick go first on this one since he's a midfield player.
Since he's the over-the-top killer.
Yeah.
Over-the-top killer.
Yeah, so
Space.
I have a pretty shitty memory, but I do think that originally at the 50 there were only 2 horizontal hyper pipes, and I believe they added a third. Could somebody clarify and tell me if that's correct or not?
So what they did is they took the 2 walls and they put them into the big center 50.
Okay.
Because there was a space in between that big center 50 and the walls, and then on the other side of those there was space as well. But now there's a bigger gap on the snake lane and the D lane. Now.
Yes. But the height of the bunker never changed?
No, it didn't. It's the same size.
Oh, okay.
The same height, yeah.
All right, so I guess I wasn't the best person to be picking for that.
Okay, I got you, man. I got you. So
that's how I feel. I want to remember all the facts, right?
But I mean, other than that, I mean, I think that definitely helped the 50 out because there were definitely opportunities for me to use the 50 in a better way where I don't have those gaps to where I could kind of crawl from left to right of that bunker, which made it definitely a lot better to play. Gave me a lot more freedom. There were times where we were in game and I heard a call that, jackpot is our 50 call. I heard jackpot on the right. I was able to crawl all the way to the right. Do a little dunking, as people like to say. So that was definitely a lot of fun and definitely something that I'm a lot more used to being able to play the whole bunker. And they also had that aspect on the other field, which was that cartoony type feel of a field, which was a lot of fun to play. But just going back to the hyperball field, I wanted to touch a little bit also on what Justin had said about his first match, which I caught towards the end. That particular hyperball field is extremely big, and it's not easy to close games on that field. When we played that tournament, the last time we were at that tournament, there were a lot of draws on that field, and after that tournament, which we ended up, I think, taking 3rd or 4th, we really cracked down and tried to make sure that clock management was something that we worked on, because we were playing those games and the field was just so big and the time would run out and we just weren't able to close games, and that was something that was always an issue for us. But as time goes on in practice, obviously that goes away. But overall, that hyperball field changed for the better. They filled in a lot of cracks. They put in some expandable foam in a lot of areas. They definitely beefed up some bunkers a little bit, so it made everything a lot more legit, if you will. And it was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
I thought that field played very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What
my
do you think,
my
Mr.
opinion.
Helicopter?
If you don't like that field, then you ain't playing paintball.
Wait, just curious. When did you guys start calling the center 50 jackpot?
After
Well,
Travis
Who gave you that idea?
Bernardo came
Who
back
gave
from
you that idea?
NWO, probably.
Yeah,
Just
I
checking.
think that's
Just
what
checking.
happened.
It was yeah.
Shout out
It was,
NWO.
I just need a little clout, you know. Little
Shout
clout.
out Big Rick.
Let's get Big Ricky on here one day.
Dude, one day, dude. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be able to fit in the frame, though. We might need to get like 2 cameras.
We got to get the double
dog.
wide lens. We got those. We got those in the studio when this COVID thing's done.
We'll get him in. We'll get him in for sure. And then we're going to get you in to talk about clamming, dude. It's going to be a whole episode on clamming, no doubt.
God.
I'll bring in some
For sure.
stuff, some props. It'll be good.
Perfect, dude. So, Baskin, what did you end up thinking about that hyperball field?
I actually like it a lot better now that they changed it. So on the helicopter side, or some people call it the Y, they actually moved the sideline about 2 feet out than what it was before. So now the 2 bunkers that were on the tape line, the last event, if you looked on the left side of that bunker, they would have called you out. So now you have a 2-foot space in between that. You can actually run down the tape line now, which was actually perfect. That opened up for me to go past the 50 because the only other move from there, the last event, was to the rollie, which was a probably 20-yard run, you know, from that 50 to the 30. So it was a very large gap there. As far as that, the walls in the center, moving them inset a little bit, it kind of opened a bigger lane for me to get into the helicopter, which was kind of tough. But we kind of had a lot of success killing guys in front of us. So that helped us out a lot. And it was helping me able to wrap inside to see who was shooting that shot, get a shot on them, put them in, and then I was able to get in. So those were the only 2 big things that I really saw with this new layout that they have at PNL.
Perfect. And Mike, like you said, if you didn't like it, you don't like paintball. So typical Mike Ricciardi answer. Do you have anything to like kind of dive a little bit more into that about why, if you don't like that hyperball field, you wouldn't like paintball? Like, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. Basically, what I mean is there were so many things to do on the field. Like, people look at it. I remember last time when we went, it felt very overwhelming. The field it's a big field, but I mean, I think we drew it down last time. There was something bunkers on each side of the field. You know what I mean? So last time, though, like he's saying, in the diamond side of the field, they were missing a bunker, I'd say, in the 50 area that this time changed the game over there. Because now, last time, you couldn't really play paintball. It's 10-man. It's easy for 4 guys to see you and shoot at you constantly and not really give you a chance to breathe. But now they threw a bunker in there. Now you get to play it. Guys can slide in there, get in the fight really quickly up into the middle of the field. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you don't like playing paintball, if you don't like playing it, it's because you're not playing it. You know what I mean? So, like Nick's saying, Nick's up in the center. You have guys laying down on their side, holding lanes down. You're dunking people. You got guys. You have, like, what he's saying, the helicopter, which I guess you'd consider the snake side. It's like you have battles going on over there, but
It's
like he
so hard to
says,
describe.
big runs. If you want to get from bunker A to B, it's everything. It's got everything, in my opinion. You can run a mile off break and have your cool big jump, dive into a bunker. You can play some ball and bump from 2-3 bunkers to get up into the center of the field. It's everything, dude. I mean, you literally can go. You can cross onto the other team's side of the field and still feel like it's not like you're up next to somebody. You still have a lot of field to play. So to me, it's an aggressive field. Last time, the story of the event was nobody can break this field. I've played paintball this many years. it's the hardest field to close on. And granted, I mean, we played it once already. We went around. We came into this event a different team, but closing on that field is 100% possible and should be happening every point because there's so many options. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think we played it the way it's supposed to be played, and that's for everyone watching to figure out how we did that and what we do. But I think it's pretty obvious, and it obviously breeds some success. So I don't know, man. I think they did everything they needed to do to make that field better than last time.
No, I could definitely see. I mean, I definitely feel like your guys' line was definitely playing the field at a quicker, faster pace than any other team there. And it was definitely obviously the winning style because, you know, just looking at your scores, 98, 99, 94, 93, like there was no issues, you know, any of those games all the way up until the finals. I mean, you know, you smoked the Beeline, you smoked Phosphor Darkside, you smoked you know, the OG Hurricanes, smoked them.
You lit us on fire,
I mean, listen,
but
dude.
I don't know. I mean, we were. It was like a singe. She singed us. It wasn't like a smoke show. You know, it was like a drag. It was
very good paintball game.
Yeah. I would say this. I think that it was a game where, you know, it was like, all right, we're playing.
To light us, they put us out, though. You know what I'm saying? They didn't smoke us, though. Like they left some.
Dude, they didn't. This is what happened. What I'm gonna, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, you know, you got a couple kills on them, and then they were like, all right, we're gonna put our big boy pants on, and then they smoked you. Like that's how it looked like to me. You know what I mean? Listen, you got a couple kills. I'm not saying they were freebie kills, but I think when push came to shove, they were like, you know, they were like, all right, we're gonna turn it on, and then they turned it on. So I mean, you can kind of go off what you thought on that game, Wood. So you thought it was a good game,
no,
or what
did
you think?
It's one of those things. I mean, like I'm a newbie in this 10-man right now, so like to me, first few minutes, you know, you see a couple guys walk off. I shot Mike in one of the matches. I forget which match it was. I seen his back. I saw his jersey name, so I knew it was him. I was all excited, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, we might actually do this. These guys are putting up 98s all day, 97s. I'm about to put these guys in the ground here, my first tournament, you know? But, you know, then now we're getting up. It's go time. It's like 7 minutes maybe. And now these guys are showing up. Now you start seeing guys peeking around corners that you didn't think they were at. Now our guys are walking off the field. All of a sudden, I'm getting shot. Now I'm in the dead box looking at 7 guys running to get the flag. You realize you didn't shoot anybody. You shot like 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys. Like for 10 people, that's not a lot of people getting killed right there. So, you know, that's one of the things that was amazing for them. I did get one of them, probably every match, but you know, no way to really confirm that. But you know, we'll just say that for now.
Confirmed kill. Confirmed kill.
No, I was very impressed playing against them, though. I mean, because you know they weren't giving themselves away. They were playing very smart, and you could tell that they've been doing this for a while and they've been working hard at it. It is inspiring, you know, when you play these other teams. You know, hats off to those guys, but playing against the Blasters A-line, it was a different game. It was a different game.
So how about young Jacob over there, man? So what is your views on that final game against Master Blasters?
It was once I got into my spot, I was like, okay, there's a couple of them. And once I died, a bunch of other people died. One of the delayers died right behind me. Then Woods got smoked, and I'm like, oh, we're all dying now. On the helicopter side. Then I see Baskin go diving into the helicopter, and then I realized the whole team's in the dead box.
Real fast. I was in the dead box viewing that dive, and it was just like a flash It was like, oh, okay. Where were you coming from where you got to pick up that much speed?
Just quick on the feet, man. That's all.
Just quick
That's funny
on the
stuff.
feet. So
Very quick.
Fast.
I know we skipped over.
I want to touch on what
I know we skipped
Sorry, go
over
ahead.
a couple of games, for either team. I know Master Blasters were looking good all the way through. But kind of going, more to Jacob and Wood. You guys hit a lot of turmoil from, first game was like, yeah, we're good, like we could do this, and then I believe it was like 4 straight just rough games, and then kind of cleaning it up with a Wooden. I mean, Wood, you're a veteran player. You've been through the highs and lows of a paintball tournament. Kind of going into the mind. It's your first 10-man event. You're seeing things go down. What was your views, kind of going through all that?
Well, like, a player like me playing X ball, a lot of times you're put into these roles where you got to lock a zone off, shoot a guy off the break. You're not like looking to really smoke down the field and start taking bodies. You're kind of playing like a control game and a quarterbacking game, where now stepping onto the 10-man field, I was sort of doing that early in the day, definitely on Saturday for sure. I was doing this, and I would try to lock a zone down and sort of like play a role. And I think what was happening was we were just like sitting too long, and like you try to quarterback stuff, but like me being this first time playing this format, I'm not really trying to like joystick guys around because I don't really know myself if those are the right or wrong moves. So, I was sort of thinking about everything from an X-ball perspective, where sometimes it is better to just sit in your spot, you know what I mean, and lock a zone off and make a guy come into an uncomfortable spot for him, where, like if you were to move out or something like that, that's usually like the wrong move, unless you're filling to a corner and you're making the field wide or something like that. But if you're looking to make like an up the gut, up the center move, and there's not that many people left, like it's probably not a good move, and your coach is going to be telling you that you should have stayed and rolled your gun longer or something. So, like definitely in those earlier games in the 10-man tournament, I was just sort of sitting there rolling my gun into a zone, and like, you'd get a kill of a guy trying to go to this, like, the diamond or the helicopter or something, and then you'd sort of be sitting there waiting for another guy to fill into that spot. But meanwhile, the push is coming from somewhere else. So I think for me, later in the day, I was realizing like, all right, more than doing that job thing, you have to use like that instinct thing of like, when you go to play an open game for fun, or it's the Sunday after a tournament and you got a lot of paint left over and everybody's going out there to have a good time. You're not really worried about role playing as much. You're sort of just playing instinctively, doing moves that probably won't get you paid at the tournament, but, look cool at the practice field and kind of get it done at the practice field. So like that sort of stuff in 10-man sort of works, where you're like, all right, we lost 3 guys on this side. I need to get over there. I don't care if I'm on the other side of the field. I need to get to the other side of the field. And you sort of like, I started backpedaling and going and, tactically retreating, which is another weird feeling thing for me. It's not often in an X-ball match that you're going to be dropping back for any benefit other than to waste time maybe. But for like 10-man, like as soon as I started thinking like, all right, let me start moving around and, again, watching, because I think like when you're at these tournaments, whether it's X-ball or 10-man, you got to watch the other teams. You got to see how it's playing, not for just their game plan, but for how the game needs to be played. And, watching the Blasters for sure, you start realizing like, all right, they synchronize moves. There's a couple of moves happening at once. So, the guy moves to the center, the guy in the back center moves to where that guy was, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, so that stuff's happening throughout the field. So when you start like realizing that, you see a guy make a move, you just go where he was, or try to get somewhere that is going to benefit him. It sounds kind of like self-explanatory, but it's really important in 10-man is to make those moves synchronized. Just use your killer instinct, kind of, for lack of better words, and just kind of like do what it takes to win. Like it's weird. It's not all game plan and like that kind of stuff. It's talking to your teammates and seeing what they need, and just kind of like doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I know I kind of rambled there a little bit, but
no, man. I mean, it's all good. It's all valuable insight. As far as what people are going to take away from the podcast, it's just you never know, that one little bite of wisdom, or that one little quote is you always grab from me while we're hanging out at paintball events or anything like that. You never know what's going to grab people, dude.
I love doing that stuff.
Dude, you never want to get too good at filling pods, or everyone's going to want you to fill pods, or, paintball's, a lot easier when where everybody's at. Something simple like that could always just, it's simple,
Those
but
are
it
great quotes.
Just works. Exactly,
Those
man.
are
We'll put it in
important
a
quotes
book.
that everybody should know. Quote number one, paintball is a lot easier when you know where everybody is, right? And you're only going to do that in communication. That's the biggest thing. In 10-man, in 5-man, in 3-man, in 1-on-1, you got to talk to your teammates. In 1-on-1, you're crazy. You're talking to yourself in your head, but that's fine, though. You got to do that because you're not going to win if you're not talking. And that's just that with that.
So, Jacob, trying to go what was going on with your head at that point. You're new to the team. You're brought on as the young legs, so people were probably looking at you to go far, cause damage, get off the field. So I feel like you had a good first game, and then at some point you got sat. But just kind of go through, as the new guy on the team, what your mindset was going from that hot win to the team not really performing, and you not, really performing in those points. But I mean, it wasn't just you; it was like an overall team vibe.
Yeah, when I first got there, everybody was older than me. Like some of the guns there were older than me, like 3 times as old. And the first point I
own some of those guns.
50, I dove into the 50, then I did my job. But then all the other games, getting to my spot, I would die right off the bat, and I'm like, how am I supposed to play paintball if I'm not playing? Then I got this one nice point right at the end of the day. Got into the 50.
Next quote.
Then moved over to the diamond on the hybrid field. Got a couple kills out there. Then I'm like, I'm happy that I finished the day like that. Then day 2, I wasn't really playing the front. I was playing the back of the snake, and shooting 9 pods, which I've never done. I weighed like 130, and I shouldn't be holding 11 pods.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, they placed me everywhere. They wanted me into one spot. They put me into that spot, and I would do my job.
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting from these guys, though, is 10-man really lets you just play paintball. It's so much. Sometimes I think, and I'm not down in X-ball because you know me, I'll take paintball in any form I can get it, but 10-man really lets you play. It lets you use your brain a little bit more. It lets you kind of be.
Yo, who's ever typing, mute your mic.
And like methodical about things. So I think that's why it's appealing and why it's a good game, because there's a lot more mindset to it. There's a lot more brains. You got to, and it's got to be you. You got to come with the mindset. Not someone's that's going to tell you what to do. It fails, now go do it again. You get one shot, you got one game, make it work, and it's 10 people trying to put it together, and it's a lot of strategy on the fly and under pressure. So I think that's why it's pretty appealing and why you can't say it's not a good time.
Absolutely. So going back to you, Jacob. So you're talking about that second day. You're putting a lot of different roles. I know. When push came to shove, the B line, so to speak. you guys had to shoot 5 bodies that last game. You shot your 5 bodies, barely got in. Some people, Craig, kind of, didn't do their job. Tony balled out. He got his kill that he needed to kill. But, going into the semifinals, you guys ended up drawing, the big brothers, Master Blasters, Nick, Travis, Mike's line. And then you played GZ Red and then Hello Nasty. So kind of, going into that, I know, the Master Blasters game, we can kind of get Nick, Travis's, and Mike's perspective. But going into it, we knew that out of the 4 teams in that drawer, that we just needed to be 1 and 2. So being 1 and 2, us being the B line, barely getting through, I kind of, told guys, hey, we're probably not going to beat Master Blasters, but, we know those GZ Red guys. We can't lose to them. They're going to talk smack to us at our home field, in our backyard. I know that was a big motivating tool for me, to kind of tell Wood, the Delayer brothers, and Jacob. So, Jacob, just kind of go into that, that GZ Red game. I know you know those guys, and how that game ended up going out for you guys, and, what the game meant to you. And then we can kind of kick it off to Wood.
That game, I played with those guys since the beginning. Once I started playing on just rec ball, then meeting them at the King of the Mountains event, played them. They came first under Brotherhood of Chaos, became second. Then playing there with all new guys, I wanted to beat them. I didn't want them to get another trophy or anything, so I got to my spot, got 2 kills, made it into the helicopter, got a couple more, and did my job. I mixed up some things. I was so happy that I was yelling up 7, which is how many guys we have that were down, and Weasels are kills for the other team. And I was yelling up 7 instead of Weasel 7.
That's never good. Never a good
Yeah,
feeling.
dude, that was I heard that, but dude, again, a throw together team, you'll learn up 7 means damn, we're kind of,
You gotta learn.
It's not
we're kind of
7 up.
screwed
It's
here.
not
Gotta
refreshing.
play to
It's
learn,
not a
man.
refreshing
Gotta
feeling.
play to learn.
Not a
So
refreshing feeling.
he meant to be saying Weasel 7, which was kill 7. They killed 3.
Yes.
I'm standing on the sideline. I'm watching Jacob in the helicopter, and he was doing a great job. He was shooting people, and he's screaming, "We up 7!" But I knew what he meant, and I think the team knew what he meant. And I'm like, they think there's 3 bodies alive. They don't realize there's another 5 dudes on the other side of the field, and it was the most insane 10-man game I think I've ever seen, because Jacob's there, he's screaming up 7, and there's about 5 of our guys on the right side of the field running train. It was nuts. It was nuts, and I'm telling you, there was still 5 guys on the other side of the field. They're running down like it was 3. It was awesome.
Hey, but that
So, it ended up working out, even though he fucked it up.
Exactly.
That was a blessing in
It's one of those
disguise.
good mistakes.
Perfect, man. So, I know, kind of going some backstory on that. You know what I mean? We don't like to be too PC on this. I always like to dig answers out, ex Nick, ex Mike, or anybody like that. So, weren't you supposed to play on GZ Red at a point?
Listen, UX, look, New
Who
York
was?
came up to Massachusetts and ran New England again, man. What do you want? You know what I'm
I
saying?
want Jacob to let us know that he was supposed to play, if he was supposed to play in GZ Red, and why he's never played a tournament with GZ Red, and then why that game meant so much to him.
Well, I didn't even know if I was going to go to the tournament. I'm like this with every tournament. You could ask about. I didn't know where we're going for one of the EPL events. 2 days before, I was still asking, where is it? What time am I supposed to be there? But Master Blasters, I thought would be a better team. Lots of more guys I knew. And it was always rivalry for GZ Red. I always versed them. So I wanted to show them something.
That's all I wanted to hear, dude. That's all you need to say. So Wood coming into it, as someone that's a higher ranked player and everything like that, but no love given to your previous rank or what you did in the past. You had to start on the lower tier team, so to speak. Each team showed up but you had to earn your keep, man. It wasn't oh, you're Justin Wood, you're D2, you're hot shit, you had to come and work your way in. So I mean, what was and I know a lot of those GZ Red dudes. I mean, you've seen a lot of these dudes all around. So I mean, was there any pressure to you to perform at this event? You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people were looking at I'll be legit. People were asking people were asking me about is, how does this Wood kid play and how did Jacob play? Nobody was asking about how Craig is or whatever. Nobody was asking me that. People were like, I heard Wood's pretty good. This Jacob kid better be fast and kill some people. So I mean, what do you think? I mean, were you feeling that a little bit of that pressure? I mean, if not externally, internally, or?
I mean, I put that pressure on myself more than anything. I always want to do the best I could possibly do. And, anything that I do, I mean, I'm always doing some activities. I mean, you always know I go bowling a little bit, so I try my best in everything that I do. So, I mean, coming to this tournament, coming to any paintball tournament, whether it's D5 to D1 to pro, I'm taking it really seriously, and I definitely don't sleep on anybody that I'm playing. A lot of times I don't know who we're playing, really, because I treat every game the same. Good paintball is good paintball. It doesn't matter. I've been in the finals with teams that you took for a discount, and they ended your tournament for you because you thought you were going to beat them, and they played you a different way that you didn't think they were going to play. And now it's over for you because you thought you were better than them. So, I mean, that's something that I always tell myself is that, I'm not better than anybody. And, anybody could beat me, but I'm going to make it as hard as possible that I can for you. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm not really afraid of who you are, what team you are on. I'm afraid of myself more than anything, making a mistake. So I just do myself a justice by coming with a focus and trying to soak up as much knowledge as I can, so that every time I step on that field, I'm as prepared as I can be.
Is what you guys, especially for the guys that played it before, what did you guys think of the new field, the Disneylandish kind of whatever you want to call it kind of field? Because that's new.
Sick.
Fun. It was
that
like
World's
said,
field.
Yeah.
You weren't there the first time, Justin, but the last time
Very
Justin was just on Hyper. It was that like Disneylandish field we didn't play.
Yeah, it was new.
Wow. I like that.
I mean, it was
field.
fun.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's still, to me, it was like, even though like you're playing with those big objects, and those barrels, it was still the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It still felt like you were playing Hyper Pipe. It still felt, it was fast. You know what I'm saying? It was still the same kind of game. It didn't slow it down or make it a different weird game. Same game, same way you would attack a hyperball field, you play that field.
Yeah.
I think it's from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, though, is what I heard. I heard it's props from that show, that movie.
Looks like it. What happened to your losing connection?
I think my light's been kicking off and on. I don't know what the hell. Maybe I need to get a clapper.
Yeah, man.
No,
invest in those lights, dude. You got to invest in those lights.
Dude, I have the light. It keeps turning off, dude. I think I don't know, man. It's too bright. I wanted this green screen so bad. It's fucking everything up, See, bam, I'm out again. I'm out again, dude. I'm out. Cut the mic. So we'll get. Travis could end up finishing the show, but going on about that hybrid field and everything like that. What? I don't even know where I was going with this. We're gonna have to cut a lot of this out. So, what was your feelings on the hybrid field, Jacob?
I played only 2 positions on that field, all the way in the front and playing behind one of the delayers. And I haven't shot that much paint in a while. I would shoot that at like at a scenario event, what I would usually play before tournaments.
Bro, I told you, I played that spot the one game, and I went out with 11 pods, and I had to bum one from Dylan because I ran out of fucking paint.
Wow. That's wild.
Dude,
and that's the crazy thing, too, is, listen to what you just said. 11 pods and you used another pod and your gun shot that out.
in
It
mechanical.
had air left in it. Unbelievable.
Barely.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
But like mechanical.
They don't need to know how good, but it shot out. Shot Planet Eclipse, okay, 170R.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things
yeah,
got
yeah,
money,
Yeah,
dude.
we love Planet Eclipse. Planet Eclipse is intense.
Yeah, gang. Yo, so all right, like the MB guys won. So was this like your first like win as a tour, like the pro squad? Was this the first place? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely 10
Yeah.
man.
It was, yeah. Because we do a lot of like other stuff on the side, like locals and nationals.
Right. And I know
As
you guys
10
play
man
Expo
team,
and
it was.
stuff, but this is like so like was it like what does it feel like? You guys put in so much work. I know you guys are always grinding at fucking PSI and like whatever to like finally like hit that mountaintop. And granted, it's not the ICPL or anything, but still, dude, a win's a fucking win, dude.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I'll
I
look
think like ICPL was where we. What's up?
Go ahead. Shut it up.
Real quick, I was just gonna say like ICPL is what we really got hyped for to like prove those points, like what we've been doing, where are we getting? Are we getting anywhere? And then ICPL went pretty good. I mean, it didn't finish the way we wanted, but it didn't finish negatively. That's all progress. So I was telling Nick from the get-go, I said we got to go there and legitimately not lose a point and win the whole thing. Like can't lose a couple because then it justifies what we were doing even more. It's like, okay, we're definitely on the right path, but you got to keep it going. Everything's about consistency. So if everyone could stay committed and keep rolling, you got to go into next year and see if it's going to continue because it don't mean nothing if we come out next time and it's just a terrible event. We're not even getting out of prelims or something stupid. It's got to become the norm.
The consistency is the hardest part, like for sure. I think like to maintain, for lack of a better term, maintain greatness throughout is difficult. You know, you can grab it here and there, but to maintain it is fucking tough, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But dude, I have faith. Like I said, I know you guys are putting in the work, and hard work beats talent any day. And I know you guys are fucking grinding harder than anybody for sure, especially in the Northeast, dude.
Well, I hope, and honestly, I hope it starts motivating. I've seen our guys getting more motivated. You know what I mean? It's nice to like go to paintball events and play them, and then like everyone be like, all right, so we're ready. What's the you get asked about the next one, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm down. So to me, it's great. It's like the vibe. Everyone's motivated. It's not just you're not getting answers from people or something. Everybody's dedicated. So I hope we keep cruising, and it's along with you guys. I mean, you play with us too, so I honestly hope like we can keep this big group of 20, 30 dudes rolling through and be placing first and second at everything we show up to be dead honest.
Fuck yeah, mob out the staging area, dude. Fuck yeah. But so the other thing I really want to get into for like especially Jacob's in here, but our younger listeners is one of the things you guys do is like I just said practice all the time. So what is one of the biggest things in your guys' practice routine that you can maybe pass on to other people to help them get better? And I'd like a little bit from everybody. So maybe if Nick, you could start, then Travis, and then maybe finish up with Mike, and then end with Wood.
So we get to practice on Sunday around 10 o'clock. We're supposed to be there at 9. Everyone's usually kind of struggling. No, we're pretty good. But, we get as many people as we can out there for the most part. And like Mike was saying, a lot of guys now really care and they want to be the best player that they can be. And I think we all know now that, like, in order to do that, you need to be playing as a team, winning as a team, doing everything as a team. And to say team one more time, the team has evolved through the practice.
Yeah.
And you really can't be a good team unless you're practicing with one another and learning one another's skills and all that good stuff. And, I mean, I don't know, we really don't do anything too special at practice. We really work on closing games. And and we keep it to ourselves for the most part. We don't need to like scrimmage teams, and we have like our own little like clique, if you will, or tendencies to do certain things a certain way. Kind of like Kevin Donaldson way. I don't want to say too much on everybody else, like with nothing to say, but practice is important for sure, and it definitely has helped us evolve as a team 100%.
No, like I could see it, dude. As an outsider who's kind of watched you guys for a little bit now, I can definitely see it. So Baskin, something I kind of want you to go into a little bit is I know a big drill you guys do is a 4-pod 5-minute drill. So how much do you think that has helped your team grow into closing these tough to close games?
Yeah, so this drill kind of, at first when I first heard it, I'm like, why are we even doing this? We have 10 minutes. Why are you going to cut it in half? Just doesn't make any sense. But like once you really get into it and actually practice it, it like really gets your mentality going really fast. Like you got to think on the fly. We got 2 minutes. Once the 2-minute mark hits, that's when we go. We got to get up the field. We got to get that flag, and we have to get it back down to our hang station. And it's like you have only 3 minutes to set up to go and do that in your 2 minutes. So you really have to think really, really, really fast. So you're thinking 3 minutes when you have about 8 minutes to do that, right? Since we have 10-minute games. So I don't know. I feel like Kevin was more trying to get our mental aspect of the game up more, to pretty much like read the field, figure out the side that you want to go, where we can push, stuff like that. As far as the 4 pods, it's kind of a little funny too, because like Kevin has his little statistical thing where he counts every pod that we shoot, and it's like it takes you this percent of shots to kill a guy. We don't need to shoot that much paint to do this. So now you're gonna go out there with 3-4 pods, and now you're gonna go do that with that. So it's all just working our game, getting better accuracy, stuff like that.
Yeah, the Kevin Donaldson analytics are fucking next level. Like when he was talking about how many balls per kill you guys average and shit like that, I was like, dude, what the fuck, man?
So the main thing that he really got into my head is like, he's like, you X-ball guys, you take a shot when you only have like a sliver of a guy hang out of a bunker. So like I get into a scenario where I'm like in a tournament, and like he said, I see a sliver of a person. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the shot. I'm like, no, do not take the shot. Wait until he gives you a little more. Take the shot so it's guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just little things he does, but he like puts it in our head so much that when I'm on the field, I can think of that too. Like But going back to that 4-pod 5-minute thing, it's just getting us ready to make quick advancements.
No, like I said, it definitely helped with this last tournament because, like we said before, this game was hard to close on. That drill definitely helped you guys. I know Waldo said it before. I mean, you guys are 80, 94, 94, 94. You guys were getting the hangs. You guys were literally mopping everybody. I mean, did you guys lose a game? I don't think you dropped one, right? 13-0 or 16-0 or whatever it was.
13-0, yeah.
Awesome. So, and then Mike, so like we did the 4 pods things, but what's something else you guys maybe do or practice that you think is really helping you guys get to the next level?
I think, and I'll quote the great Pat Sinelli, and that's just play more paintball. Like that guy, a couple of years ago, he came, he watched us play, he was a little involved with us playing speedball and stuff like back when we were at doing the NEPLs and everything. And one thing that always stuck with me was the guy was like, you got to play more paintball because doing this or doing that, it doesn't matter. But us going every weekend, even whatever the drill's going to be, you're playing. So you're already getting better. But then that's where it's big on what Kevin's been doing with us. Is it's kind of, I guess you could say it's like throw him to the fire. Like make the pressure where it's almost seems like it's unattainable. Like, dude, you're trying to tell us to go up a hyperball field in 5 minutes, and also get a pull and then return it back. It's like, but there's a reason they make the games are 10 and 12 minutes, right? Like it's not,
Mhm.
it's supposed to be done in 5 minutes. But so you get used to the chaos, and then once you get to the actual real chaos, it slows down. Everything becomes a lot more normal. Been there, done that. The time actually becomes like a very big luxury, and you realize you have a lot more time to like effectively think about what you want to do and how to do it. And as long as the team stays alive and you guys work together, I mean, it shows. It's if you have the bodies and the mindset, you close the game. You just gotta do it together. And I think it's playing more, play a lot of paintball, and yeah, I guess you could say trust the process, because a lot of us were stubborn at the beginning, I guess you could say, and we definitely thought we knew best and know best, and we listen, and the results show for themselves. So it's just keep doing it, honestly.
No, like I said, yeah, the results are speaking for themselves, man. And so, like wrapping things up here, I want to give Justin Wood a shot because this is the PNL recap video, so everyone can give their last thoughts. Justin, what was your final thoughts of the PNL 10-man tournament? I know it was your first 10-man tournament, so like all said and done, man, you walked away with the third place trophy. I did too. What are your final thoughts, man?
Oh, I mean, I had a blast. You know, it's just ran a lot differently than an X Ball. You know, tournament generally is ran. That's not saying anything bad about it. It's just, you know, totally a different breed. I had a blast. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Especially, you know, with the Master Blasters, you know, them being such a tight-knit family, and, you know, me knowing, you know, Mike and Nick and those guys for like a long time. You know, they really have been my second family for, you know, a few seasons, and, you know, like the local X-Ball tournaments, the Ops series, I played a lot with those guys. But I mean, that as far as 10-man goes, I'm looking forward to the next one. I mean, that tournament was a lot of fun on the Hyperball. I mean, that's the paintball I grew up on, and I just, you know, never got the opportunity to really compete on those type of fields. So to just have that opportunity to play with, you know, the Master Blasters, as legendary as they are, you know, achieving what they have achieved in the past, and, you know, some of the key marquee players on there that are just, you know, guys I've looked up to for a while. And, you know, that mixed with the Hyperball atmosphere, it's just a blast. I mean, what more can you ask for? Playing paintball, shooting a lot of paint, having long games, and having plenty of targets to shoot at. I mean, it's just a lot of fun for me.
No, dude, heck, that's why I love it too. And so yeah, Nick, I'll give you a chance to get your last word in. What was your final
One second.
thoughts?
So can we get breaking news? Wood, are you like officially on the team? Or like, what's good? Is your jersey coming in the mail? Like, what's good? Like,
Yeah, did you hear my words, like consistency and commitment? You like those words? What do you think?
So what are you
I
going
mean,
to
that's
Craig Bender's
everybody.
jersey or what? Like, that's what the world needs to know. Are you Craig Bender too? You
I'll let
cheesesteak or what?
Donaldson, you know, I'll let you know, the organization release the news how they feel fit, but it's not something that I would be against. I did talk to Donaldson about getting a jersey because I've worn other players' jerseys for a while, so I think it's only right, you know. But you know, the sky's the limit. I'm just happy to be playing paintball. The start of this season, you know, COVID, and you know, a little bit of injury, you know, with some other side activities. I didn't really know if I was going to come back to play, and these guys hit me up to play X Ball, and, you know, it led to a month later I'm playing 10-man, taking my first podium in 10-man. So it's a huge opportunity for me, and, you know, I'm looking forward to the future for sure.
Boom, Justin Wood's back, baby. All started at the charity tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, best head ref in the game. Oh, wait, I don't know about. Oh, very good head ref. Andy's good too from the newbies. Shout out Andy from the newbies.
Don't worry,
I'm up there. I don't want to disrespect.
What's up there though? What's up there? But, you know, no disrespect to Andy and the newbies.
I'm close. Guys. I'm rising at least. If you're at the top, you better watch out. That's all I gotta say. You know,
he's coming for you. All right, cool, Nick. So yeah, I'll give you your turn now. Your closing remarks, man. Anything else you got to say?
Yeah, so I definitely think that this tournament was a big milestone for the team in general. First line and second line for sure. Like, just to touch on Justin's thing, coming in third at your first 10 man, it's pretty awesome. And then as far as our team goes, like as we've said, have been putting in a shitload of fucking work, a shitload, and it is a big milestone for this team. Super proud of everybody that came out and played this event. It's been a long time coming, and going 13-0 and taking that win was truly something that was like really fucking special to me. And a lot of guys were emotional, and like I could even get choked up talking about it. But like this is just the beginning, and we're going to be a team that people are going to remember in the years to come. So
Yes. No, dude, that's why I wanted to bring it up, bro. You should be most people should be pumped. It's your first win as this with this squad, dude. It was
we were coming off Chicago with like this aura because we played really fucking well.
Chicago, dude. You guys played fucking awesome.
Yeah, and like Mike was saying, like we were just going into this tournament and we were like, we're just gonna fuck everybody up, Like no disrespect to the teams, but like we were just at this level in our heads, like, we're at a readiness point, and we're like, we're gonna go and do what we're doing at Chicago, and it showed. Yeah, it was awesome. Loved every minute of it.
Yeah, dude, sick. So, Travis, I mean, your turn. Like you said, you guys 13-0, running everyone in finals. OG Hurricanes, far Darkside, us. You guys won all those games, man. Closing remarks on the whole thing, man.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because like the chemistry that we have as a team now is just insane. I mean, like just being out there and hearing everyone's communication is just like nothing I've ever had before, and it's just like night and day. Like the weasel counts were on point. We were able to tell where everybody was in every single bunker. I mean, we've never been in this aspect of the game before, and it's just like everything is clicking now, and it's just like we've been doing all this for so long, and now it's actually showing, and it's like a reliever almost. At the event, I kind of teared up a little bit because it's just like we're here now. It's like,
dude, you should
we got it. We're right there.
I've known you guys for a couple of years now, dude. Like watch it all. Dude, it was fucking awesome to watch you guys play that event. Really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Mike, your turn. Like I said, like going into the final thoughts. I mean, what does it feel like now you guys are smacking these guys like the Hurricanes and like fucking Parks for Darkside and these other teams that you guys are now, you're not the ones getting smacked. You're the ones giving them the backhand. What's it like, man?
Honestly, it feels good, but it's like, it's nice because it's like, you really can just go play paintball. You know what I mean? It's like there's no trying to compare yourself or like the doubt of who like listen, it's just reality of sports and human nature as you think about people that are better than you and people that are known and this and that, and it's taken that out of the whole air, like for everyone on the team. Like I've had arguments and said shit to and I said things to like where it's like the way you talk and act before you start a point, it's you consciously, like subconsciously starting to like bring up your doubts and do things, or is it confidence? You know what I mean? And now it's like, instead of being like, oh, this is this team, like let's show we belong, or like that we're not scared of them. It's like, it's just like, oh, that's the next team on the roster. You know what I mean? On the schedule. So to me, it's nice to just kind of just play and just get better at playing, not trying to get over these mental barriers or something like that. Like it's just playing paintball now.
That's all paintball is, mental barriers, man.
Dude, you're right. And then finally, yeah,
that was a big problem.
That you guys had to overcome.
I think it's everybody.
Sure.
It's everybody, man. Yeah. As a person too.
Is big. Really big.
No, dude, the mental game
100%.
is so much of it. So,
And I mean,
yeah.
to speak on that too, like what Nick was saying with time, a lot of times when you're doing these things like these drills like that, you don't really understand the 5 minutes with the 4 pods, the 30-second X ball drills. It's to get it into your head that it is possible. You know, I can't tell you how many teams I played for where we ended up winning a 25-second point, you know, in obviously X ball format, you know, that you didn't realize you had the capability of even doing that. And then the second that you realize you can do that, then all of a sudden that's just another weapon you have in your back pocket. Is the fast game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude, that was great. I actually think that's a good spot to fucking end it. I love that little quote that you left us with right there. That'll be the little sound bite. Sure, man.
I got one.
So I want to thank you. You jumped in. Jacob jumped in for a little bit. I want to thank all you guys for joining us. And as always, I want to thank you guys, the motherfucking listeners, for tuning in. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
And we will
guys.
catch everybody on the next one. Peace out.